So I'm in the Eastern Cape and I'm visiting young farmer Mlungisi Bushula, who is a champion for biodiversity, is a champion for partnerships, and also a farmer involved in forestry and soon game farming. So lots to chat to him about in this particular visit. So looking forward to it. How's it, Mlungisi?
Hey, Sharp Tony, how's it?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good.
Yes,
Good.
Welcome to the Eastern Cape.
Thank you. Listen, this is lovely. It's a fantastic morning. I start my mornings over the coffee. I don't know how you do it. Can I get your coffee?
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks. So Mlungisi, thank you so much for taking some time for us. This doesn't look like the normal farming operation. What's going on here?
Yeah, this is not the normal farming operation, but it requires as much hard work.
Okay, so you're contract farming here. Let's go right back to the beginning, as far back as we can. When did you get into farming? Was it always in your blood?
Yeah, I grew up always going onto my grandfather's farm when I was still a toddler, where he used to run cattle, both for beef and for dairy.
Yeah.
So we used to go there and milk cows during holidays or weekends when we've got time, and then come back and sell the milk in the villages and in the location.
Yeah. So you had some farming in you.
Yeah.
And then you go on to study. What happens after?
I matriculated in 2004. Then 2005 I went to Nelson Mandela University, where I studied public management. And then I later studied financial management and advisory services.
Okay.
Of which, after that, I went to Mill Park Business School. And after that, I got a learnership to work at the banks. So my grandfather, every time he used to come from the farm, he used to pass by the bank, telling me, hey, I need to leave what I'm doing. He's got work for me.
Yeah.
And he's losing energy, so he needed my assistance. So after a couple of months, him probing me to come and join him, I eventually gave in, and I came and joined him.
Okay, but unfortunately, you're not still working that piece of land that was left by your grandfather.
Yeah, you see, when I joined him, he wanted to sell the farm. So I convinced him to keep it, and I gave him models of what we could do. But he was very interested in supporting me to do that. But unfortunately, 6 months down the line, he felt ill due to a heart condition. He passed away. So what was readily available at the property was like about 350 hectares of forestry. So after passing, like families don't see eye to eye sometimes, and they didn't support like the vision that I had. So I ended up leaving that property and got some contracts with different land use options.
I mean, you've been very successful at it. And I think part of that success, we have to say, is coming from your partner in life as well, Aya, your wife, ne?
Yes. I'm very blessed and grateful to have her in my life. She came at a time where I needed to be rooted and grounded and focused. So she added all that, and she didn't just become like a life partner, she is also my business partner, and I don't think I could be this far without that. So I agree with the saying that says behind every successful man is a very powerful woman.
I am the Chief Financial Officer at SA Fine Tuned. I also deal with HR and administrative work. So basically, I run the office. Working with my husband was very challenging at first. In any relationship, you don't know how to separate the roles of being a business partner or an employee with your husband. So it needed us to sort of get an understanding what exactly is expected, what do we need on the relationship side, and also what do we need on the business side. I think in respecting each other's roles, it's one of the things that works for us. I'd like to see SA Fine Tuned in 5 years from now, having employed the 100 employees that we are seeing on our vision board. It's not about giving people jobs, but also exposing people in the industry that we're in. We're looking for people that are going to, learn from us and be able to start their own businesses.
So you're into it's contract farming is what you guys are doing. Is that the correct term, or am I getting it wrong?
In this particular plantation, we are harvesting contractors.
Okay.
So we are in Stutterheim, which is an AFC managed plantation. AFC is for Amatole Forestry Company, which manages around 25,000 hectares of pine plantations like the ones you see behind us.
Yeah.
We got to work with them through our application with ITC to expand on our forestry business plan.
Yeah.
So it was clear that the farm that we had was not sufficient enough, so we had to look for additional ground. It's about the scale. I didn't study forestry or agriculture, but I am a business person. So when they saw the passion that I have to develop the business, they wanted us to be sure that we are going to be sustainable and wanted us to seek like a technical partner. So we approached the Rans group, and then they agreed to mentor us.
And John Rans, he's been instrumental as your mentor.
Yes, very much. I met him when we were starting to build on our business model.
Okay.
So our relationship just grew, and he's advising and consulting me on a mentorship basis now.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the IDC. Have they been instrumental in your development as a company?
You're very much. I think with all the challenges and the stress, and especially forestry being like an untransformed sector, having a partner like ITC, I'm calling them a partner because they do not just lend you money. They become part of your business, whereby they advise and give you business support. So there's much value in us having a financial partner like ITC.
100%. Okay, I'm now ready to go see the rest of your operation. I know you guys are working down there. I saw some tractors going down there and some fancy heavy machinery. Are you ready to show me?
Yeah, cool.
Great, fantastic. Welcome back, Mzansi. Now, as you can see, I've got my personal protective equipment on, which is required in the forestry industry. And I can't wait to speak to Mlungisi once again about this particular operation, how it works, how it runs on a daily basis. Let's go. So Mlungisi, as we alluded to earlier on, this is not your plantation. You're working here as a contractor. Can you explain that to me?
Okay, basically our company, SA Fine Tuned, has been awarded a harvesting contract by AFC or Rans Timber Group, which is we have to do thinnings to the tune of 1,200 cubic meters a month, removing the marked trees. If you look behind us, you will see there are trees that are marked with whites. We are taking out the trees that are inferior. Remember, pines grow in a period of about 30 years. So what we are doing now, we are giving space for the ones that we would like to stay on the land for the full maturity term.
Okay.
It's a part of the forestry management plan that AFC is implementing.
It's not just thinning though, is it? You do more than that.
Yes, this operation is one of our forestry harvesting operations. The other one entails us harvesting gum poles. The other one entails us harvesting wattle invaded jungles and convert them into commercial plantations.
I know you do a lot for the community. You're assisting the community, surrounding communities in a lot of ways, and you're also chairman of youth and agriculture in the Eastern Cape.
Yes. What we have done in the interim is build partnerships with the surrounding communities that have got woodlots, and we are turning that into commercial plantations. But it's a different species than this one, wattle. So what we are doing with the communities, we're trying to empower them by managing their own plantations while we are creating the market to absorb the trees that they are going to be producing. And we are going to do that on a mentorship basis, formalize them, give them trainings, so on and so on.
That seems to be important for you. The work you're doing with the community, is that the same thing with trying to empower the youth as well to get them into farming?
I started being involved in agriculture and forestry while I was at, I think, 25 years. And there has been a lot of roadblocks in terms of red tape and barriers to entry in terms of land access, finance for this type of operations. So I took a deliberate and conscious decision to be part of the structures that help mobilize, support, and break these barriers to entry. So currently I'm the youth in agriculture and rural development chairperson for the Eastern Cape province, whereby we advocate for youth programs to be recognized by government. And also I'm working with an executive team that is supporting me, and also the Department of Rural Development has been assisting us to make the structure functional and assisting us with different linkages.
So talk to me about some of the challenges that you're facing in this industry.
Okay, mainly barriers to entry, markets, and market access, because this industry is not transformed. So, but when it comes to this particular operation, the machinery, like cost of repairs, because we get a lot of breakdowns, and also it's labor intensive, and it requires us to have like sufficient labor units at any given day. And sometimes the weather would also like play part, where it maybe rains too much or it's too windy for us to be operational, which also like hinders our reaching our targets here.
What are your markets? Is it local markets, overseas markets, in terms of what we're looking at here?
Okay, for this particular product, the pine, we are harvesting as a harvesting contractor. And so all the timber that we harvest from here goes to Rand's Timber sawmills, whereby they produce the different products of pine. But we've got also like eucalyptus, which we mainly produce poles from that. And we've got wattle as well, which we sell to KZN markets, which in turn process it and sell it to the Far East, like India and China, to manufacture paper and dissolved cellulose products.
Okay, fantastic. All right, let's go across to your game farm operation. I know that's something that you are very excited about.
Yes, that's short.
Mlungisi has a piece of land earmarked for a game farm adjacent to Rand's Safaris, who assist him with animals and other resources.
So Mlungisi, we are here on your land, or your proposed wildlife operation. Here you've got assistance from government, but it has not all been smooth sailing. Tell me why.
Tony, land access, barriers to entry to an untransformed sector, because you wait like a long time to get things done.
Okay, so you've had assistance from government. Which departments?
Okay, the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment has given us a grant, and also we've got commitment from SANParks to do wildlife donation once our fences are up.
So what do you aim to achieve here?
Here, basically, we want to bring back the diversity, the biodiversity that was once here. We want to transform the untransformed wildlife industry, and we also would like to empower the livelihoods of the surrounding communities.
Do you have a mentor for this operation as well?
Yes, we are adjacent to the Rand's Safaris, which is an operation that has been operational for years. And we once again were fortunate to have a relationship with John Rand's, who is the main operator of the ranch that is 5,000 hectares next door to us.
So what are you planning to do with your operation? What are your revenue streams?
Okay, once the operation is fully up and running, our main revenue income stream will be focused on hunting, tourism, and also meat processing, because we see that venison is slowly becoming to be a mainstream meat again.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you recommend I serve in terms of venison for my restaurants?
Let's say kudu T-bone.
Kudu Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, I want
it's
to try
like
it. You're making some for me tonight.
Yeah, that's what we're going to fry tonight.
Fantastic. If it's nice, we're on. Mlungisi, this is a question that I always ask the farmers when I meet them. If you had one wish over your operations, what would it be?
You can see we're trying to build like a massive operation here. As you know, we've got many moving parts, and as you know, the rainbow has got many colors. But if you separate those colors, then you don't have a rainbow. For them to represent a rainbow, those colors have to be together. And we want to represent the Rainbow Nation through the partnerships we are building.
After a busy day with so much to take in and a delicious kudu braai, it's time to leave. Agriculture isn't just about maize and cattle, and Mlungisi's forestry operation has been an inspiration. With hard work and solid partnerships in place, I'm pretty sure he'll go far.
Welcome back, Mzansi. Now, there are many different kinds of partnerships, and not all of them are identified by a single contract or signed contract. Some partnerships are fluid, neighborly, or based on mentorship. And they all have the same goal, and that is to build something amazing and special together. So the entire value chain in farming is dependent on partnerships. And to tell us more, we've invited some experts in agriculture to share some of their thoughts. Gentlemen and lady, thank you so much for joining me in African Farming.
Thank you for having us.
Lisa Marie de Klerk from Vleis Centraal. You well?
I'm well, thank you.
Okay, Pravin, how are you doing? Brothers in arms, Pravin and Nico.
Good to be here. Thank you, Johnny.
All right, let's also welcome Sianda Mabaso from AfriVet. Sianda, are you well?
I'm well, thank you for having me.
All right, good to see you guys. Pravin, if I might start with yourself, what are your thoughts on partnerships?
They're critical to a farming operation. We've always said that building a farming operation is for generations. Including your partnerships with your agribusinesses forms a critical component to that. They have the experts in-house, from all of your input supply to your agronomy services, your grain storage, grain hedging, all of those. And it's critical that farmers realize that must be your go-to person. The relationship management team within the agribusinesses are critical to making sure they give you all of the support that you need. But the request's got to come from you. Agribusinesses will give you all of the advice that you need, supply you with superior service and products, but you need to understand what do you want to achieve in your agribusiness. But continuity planning, business planning, forecasting, financial management, agribusinesses also help you with training and development to that effect. So it's important to keep that relationship with them on a continuous basis.
Right, Lisa Marie, can I come to you? What do you do as Vleis Centraal in terms of partnerships? Are you partnering? Are you advising some of your livestock suppliers?
Absolutely. I think from Vleis Centraal's side, we are the first line between farmer and buyer, and which goes into the market. So we as livestock agents need to go to your farmers, and you need to advise them and tell them, you know what, this is what the markets require from you. From there, they also profit from your advice because you know what the market requires from them, and you can push them in a direction that the market needs from them at that stage.
Okay. Let's look at the financial issues here, Nico. I've got to come to you, obviously. Partnership is a two-way street. You're looking at, from a financial aspect, you're looking at the farmer's performance, but they're also looking at you for, whatever advice. It's more than a financial need they have from you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is finding in our space financial solutions that is fit for purpose for the farmer. And you can't do that by dictating to the farmer that this is A, B, C, D that needs to be done. You need to work with him through his initial plans and then help him to translate that into financial speak, so to say, to see what would the outcome be in numbers, what he wants to do. And I think partnerships is not just limited then to what the bank does from a financial perspective. A farmer is expected to be a financial expert, he's expected to be a veterinarian, he's expected to be a guru on the market. And all these things need to culminate into one plan that ultimately needs to spit out at the end of the day a number at the bottom line. And I think we'd like to take all that advice into that pot when we assist with financial planning.
Well, Sianda, you got Nico saying a farmer is expected to be a veterinarian. What part does AfriVet play in terms of partnering the farmer, assisting him in that aspect?
We've got various trainings that we offer to farmers, and that they need to understand that in this industry there is no 24-hour service. So you need to partner with institutions that will give you the knowledge, supply you with the products, so that you can be able to do some of the things on your own and also be in a good position to give a vet very good background information on whatever disease that you are encountering.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying, but let's look at the farm workers as well. They are also partners of the farmer, isn't it, when it comes to animal health?
That is true. And in fact, effective treatment starts with the person who's look after the animal on a daily basis. They are the person who is in a good position to give the vet background information of that particular animal. So in our training, we've got one that we called early disease identification and reporting, because that particular person will then report the cases to the farm manager or to the farmer, who can then take it further. So it is always important that the knowledge does not only stays with the farmer, but with the person who's on the ground looking after the animals.
Lisa Marie, from an auction perspective, I mean, how critical is it when it comes to the animal health that we're talking about here with Sianda, that, you know, that partnership is there between maybe AfriVet and the farmer, because you want good, clean animals, don't you?
You know what, that's really important for us in the auction industry. We've got stricter biosecurity protocols in place, and we need to know the background of the animals coming into an auction house, especially in a buyer's perspective, because they need to buy in clean and healthy animals so they don't contaminate and spread disease any further. So I believe, you know, partnerships within the industry, different industries, and especially in the animal health, is absolutely important.
Let me get a last word from yourself, Nico, when it comes to partnerships. You have to be careful with partnerships, isn't it? This is lovely to paint this beautiful picture, but, you know, there can be pitfalls, can't there?
Yes, I think make sure that you have a network of partners that you've picked, and then use that network to your advantage.
So, Pravin, what's your last word to Mlungisi?
Build your partnerships with your key opinion leaders in the industry. We've heard what the other panelists have had to say. Make sure you collaborate and you build those partnerships on a continuous basis.
Fantastic. Gentlemen and lady, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks,
Thank
Danny.
you very much.
So there are partnerships at every level of farming. Even if you're not a farmer, but you consume the produce, then you're part of that value chain, Zanzi. We're all in it together. And remember, you can get in touch with us on our social media platforms at #AfricanFarming, and also check out our website, africanfarming.com. And remember, we farm better together.